I was sitting at the end of my bed playing Modern Warfare 3 survival mode, munching away at chocolate biscuits whilst listening to a YouTuber that was one of a few that went on to introduce me to self-improvement. His name was Hamza Ahmed, alright, wonderful individual. And this was around the time in 2021. I was 19 years old, heartbroken over a girl I just couldn't let go of. My passion of making music was going fuck all nowhere, but I just didn't know why. I wanted to be successful, so here I was, playing COD, or Minecraft maybe, being fed all of this information about something brand new, a saving grace, and with all of this horrible mental health and rage I felt towards women at the time, and feeling alone, and all that shit, I started self-improvement. Another year passes, 2023. Everything fucking changed, guys, alright? I really got on my shit. Something just clicked, I don't know. But for months and months, I was dropping some weight, waking up at 5 AM for the first time in my life, grinding my arse off on YouTube. Yep, I was working hard too. Meditation in the morning, all that shit. But it was around this year that I really started to question the usefulness of practicing self-improvement in its traditional sense, because I'll be honest, I still wasn't really growing in anything. Yeah, I was balancing all of these things in my life, like improving my mind, my body, my YouTube channel, my experiences with girls. And guess what, buddy? End of 2023, still fuck all. Pretty much nothing is happening. Now, do I regret this time? No, I still had some great experiences, but I was focused on the progress aspect. Was I putting a real dent in my YouTube channel, or fitness, or girls, or anything? No, again, because I was balancing everything. So, the start of 2024, January, this was when I started to subtly adopt a new way of living, which is nowhere near as balanced as when I would just consider myself on self-improvement. In fact, it's not fucking balanced at all. But this way of living life I'm about to explain. Let me give you some of the results I've gotten this year. Because of this method, I've made my first £100 from YouTube. I've become monetized. I've reached 3,000 subscribers when I only reached 500 in that same time last year. I made my first online sale in my new business, and got more success with girls, going on dates, all that shit. Great experiences, lovely girls. This is way more than last year when I was a self-improvement balanced nerd. So, do you want to know what I've changed? I mean, it's in the bloody title. Gentlemen, I would love to introduce to you self-improvement's sexier, happier, more productive version of itself, shadow growth. I 100% believe that self-improvement, while, look, very useful for young guys that just need to get their life in order a bit, so they add a little bit of everything to their life, like the gym, mental health practices, women, work, all that. It's actually also not very effective at all, at least for me, in making progress in my goals that really matter to me. It's kind of like a circle, imagine that, and it represents your progress. If you're doing all of these things for different aims, mental health, fitness, money, girls, you're putting your focus in so many different directions that your progress looks like this. Small, insignificant. You get what I mean? Meanwhile, shadow growth, what I've been practicing, is not the balanced option, but it's where you divide your life, your year, into seasonal chunks of your choice, and in each season or phase of your life, you dedicate nearly all of your focus to one goal, other than maybe non-negotiables like, you know, keeping in somewhat good shape and actually talking to people every now and again, because that's like human, you need it. So let me give an example of shadow growth so it's not confusing. In January, instead of balancing everything, I really wanted to grow on YouTube. I was at maybe, I don't know, 400 subscribers at the time, and I loved it. But I knew I could give more, so I dropped almost everything. I went out 90% less with friends. I didn't talk to girls. I quit the gym and stayed home to work out. I then ate cleaner food eventually, did my bad habits less, and all of this was in the pursuit of growing on YouTube. And it worked. January at that time was one of the best months for the channel, because all I did was make 2 to 4 videos a day, grinding, and then in the afternoon maybe I'd do some push-ups and go for a walk. That was my life. Never in my life have I progressed in something so fast, and never have I felt so fulfilled in something and really felt like I was going somewhere. But I also felt lonely sometimes, naturally, and I was, you know, pushing away my other desires of getting in shape and talking to girls. So, is that a flaw of shadow growth? No. To me, shadow growth isn't actually unbalanced. It's just balance, but on a more long-term scale. Think of a year-long scale. Because from March to April, after January to February of doing YouTube stuff, I changed what season I was in, and 90 to 100% focused on going out, talking to women, and getting in shape. And I also made more progress in those 2 months with girls than I had in like fucking 5 years. This is the power of shadow growth. You pick one goal that you deeply care about, and instead of adding in a bunch of shit like in self-improvement, which might not even be necessary and is slowing down your growth, all you do is align every behavior in your life to hitting your goal. Look, this isn't for the faint of heart. If you're on this video, I assume it's because you want to be successful. You don't want to have the life that everyone else you know is going to end up having. Shadow growth, you don't add things into your life. You take things out, which is way more effective for productivity. When I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was just indoors and working. Shadow growth is called shadow growth because your massive goal, your singular goal, casts a shadow over your current self. And you have to align everything in your life to fill that shadow. In other words, you have to align everything in your life to be good enough to hit the goal. I feel 100 times more fulfilled than doing everything at once. I grow literally 5 times quicker on YouTube when I'm practicing shadow growth compared to self-improvement. Again, look at this graph. I really hope you're taking something useful from this video, guys. Self-improvement is kind of like wiping a tissue on a dirty glass. It cleans it up a bit, but shadow growth replaces the ghast. The ghast? The ghast! What sounds like? Oh, don't worry. Shadow growth replaces the glass. But I do have to say, it would be really hard to just flip-flop between different phases in my life every couple months, from working to going out and shit, if I didn't have a really powerful way to track my habits that are pushing me to hit my goals. I personally use habit trackers to switch between seasons as quick as I do, and they're genuinely the best thing I've ever discovered. Period. If you're interested in learning about tracking and maybe trying it yourself to change your life, to change your habits, to make them sustainable, click the first link below because I made a free course. Love you, fella.